Hey, what's going on, my friend? It's Jeff Newpert from ChasingStrength.com. And in today's video, we are going to discuss how you quite possibly could feel 30 years younger in just 30 days. This applies for those of us over the age of 45, right? So let's get into it. But first, look, let me acknowledge, I know that sounds kind of clickbaity, right? Something you'd see, well, clickbait. But I'll explain all of it in a second. First, here's a quick story. Even though this may sound a little premature, as I film this, 2025 is the year I'll be celebrating not getting hip replacements, right? See, back in 2005 when I was 32, I remember rolling over in bed one morning feeling stiff as a board, aching all over and thinking to myself, man, I feel like I'm 62. If I don't take care of this now, I shudder to think what I'm going to feel like when I'm actually 62, right? 2005 was also the year that my orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Toth, the head of sports medicine for Duke University women's teams. My wife was a physical therapist at the time at Duke Sports Medicine, so she got me in to see her. Well, Dr. Toth told me that if I didn't stop loaded hip extension and hip flexion, I was looking at hip replacements in 20 years. And that was because I had torn the labrum in my right hip and I had two labrum tears and a bunch of cartilage damage in my left hip. Okay, that's at age 32. I am rapidly approaching my 52nd birthday. Hard to believe. In fact, as I film this, I'm about a week out from that 52nd birthday. So I am happy to report, as of age 51, almost 52, 20 years later, okay, that I am still squatting heavy, deadlifting, even doing full barbell snatches and cleans, along with all my kettlebell work. And I'm also happy to report, not bragging. Remember, it's never bragging if you can back it up, right? So I can still full barbell snatch, Olympic lift, right? The Olympic snatch, more than my body weight. And I can even press my body weight, okay? All that to say, my hips feel great. Okay. This is not an accident. Okay. Let me repeat that. This is not an accident. Okay. When most guys my age have already given up on their favorite exercises and are trying to find new exercises in tools they can use to work around their pain and injuries, I'm free from all of that. And I have zero physical limitations. At least I haven't found any yet. Okay. Now, look, again, I don't say that to brag or even try to impress you, but rather instead to impress upon you that you actually can rewind the clock, so to speak, in almost every case, if it's a big if, okay, you use the right tools to do so. And what tools might those be? Well, that gets us back to the clickbaity headline, okay? Feel 30 years younger in just 30 days. Now, I did not make that up. That is a direct quote from a forum handle from a guy named B Squared, and he's 62. And I grabbed this quote and the following review over on the Strong First Forum. And maybe we can get a picture up there, right, for you to take a look at it as I read this. And worst case scenario, we'll leave a link in the video description so you can go see this for yourself, okay? But this is what B Squared said. I feel 30 years younger. So happy I could cry. My wife is sick of hearing me talk about how awesome I feel. Now, let me read to you the whole post. And again, we'll get this up here, hopefully. He said, 1 month since buying this plan, I've been doing P3, phase one, level one, about 5 days a week. For context, a year ago at 61, I had trouble getting up off the floor on one side of my body. Glute wouldn't fire, and some weak posterior lower back muscles. A year ago was when I decided the party was over, and I had to get very serious about moving heavy objects or become old and brittle. Too much time behind a computer, and more recently behind a computer and road bike. Made 2024 my year of being strong first. In the beginning, I couldn't properly do the half rolls, another rude awakening at how much I've neglected myself. This week, I'm up to 30 breaths, 30 nods and rotations, and 30 power moves. For power, last week I started doing 20 each side. Now I'm up to 30 each side for a count of 60. This simple 15 minutes for 10 reps has now become a 30-minute routine. So I wake up and do it and do kettlebell practice in the afternoon. Results. Left elbow pain is gone. After 18 plus months of nagging, guess I'm going to have to live with this issues. Can bodyweight squat deep on command. Not full butt on floor, but pretty darn deep for my legs/build. Can instantly do a 90-90 stretch after dinner. This used to be a hashtag struggle fest. Can raise arm overhead, and it's even with my ear without trying, despite having dropped all my T-spine mobility work. Huge improvements to my quarter half get up with a kettlebell. I can freely turn my head and look over shoulder on bike or in car. Feel 30 years younger. So happy I could cry. My wife is sick of hearing me talk about how awesome I feel. Phase 2 unlocks tomorrow. Again, I'm going to leave that link if you want to check it out for yourself to that forum post in the description of this video below. Now, B Squared did all that in 30 days. How exactly did he do it besides obviously following what is called P3? And I'll give you more information about that in a second. Number one, he had a vision. Okay, super important. He moved away from what he didn't want, which was the physical limitations and feeling old at age 61, towards what he wanted, which was to feel young again. Number two, he had a plan. He followed the P3 protocol, phase one. And number three, and this is where so many guys fall down, right? I'd say the majority of people fall down here. B squared consistently executed his plan. Okay, he did so 5 days a week. Simple, right? Now, as I mentioned before, P3 is the program that I developed along with my wife, a doctor of physical therapy, and I developed it for myself. It's what I use to keep those hip replacements away and still lift heavy stuff over my head, right? Put a heavy bar on my back when I want to, heavy kettlebell front squats, and lift any way I want to. So look, let me level with you here. If you're tired of feeling old or feeling your age or not being able to move like you think you should or used to be able to, I think it's safe to say that B squared would recommend the P3 protocol. I know I would, okay? If that interests you and you want to rewind the clock, I'll leave a link for P3 in the description below this video. All right? Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, click the like button, smash the subscribe button, leave a comment below. All right? Oh, also share it with a friend, okay? Talk to you soon, my friend. Until then, stay strong.